Okay, so a lot of men are treating women like virgin princesses without even knowing they're doing it, and it kills attraction. I want to talk to you guys today about how guys are doing that and how guys who are really successful in dating treat women instead. And the first thing that needs to be understood is that girl you're talking to is probably not a virgin. As much as that might hurt your stomach to think about, statistically, she's probably not a virgin. All right? 90% of women age 21 in America are not virgins. They've had sex before. And to put that into perspective for you, 70% of women age 20 in 1950 were virgins. Age 20 was also the average first year of marriage for women. Okay, so what am I saying by that? That girl you're talking to is probably not a virgin. Am I saying to treat women like hoes, to treat women like shit because of that? That's not really what I'm saying at all. What I'm saying is that girl you're talking to is probably not so innocent, and a lot of guys are treating her as if she's like an 1800s farm girl, okay? And the first thing that really holds guys back when they treat women like virgin princesses is this really destructive mindset. They think that women don't like sex. And this is far from the truth. Women love sex. They're just not as open about it as men, and they have to hide it more for cultural reasons, obviously. They don't want to, a lot of them don't want to openly be seen as promiscuous, but nowadays some women don't even really care, to be honest with you. Now, really quick, if you're a guy that wants to make a change in his dating life as fast as possible, and you want to learn more about my private mentorship, click the button below. Now let's get back to the video. And just to confirm the fact that women do like sex, they are sexual beings, I have a little statistic here for you. 82% of women in the US own at least one sex toy. Okay, so that kind of gives you a little inkling about what's going on in women's minds. What else should give you a little bit of an inkling is the fact that when women read books, pretty much the only thing that they're reading is romance novels. All right, so women are sexual beings. Women do like sex. But when guys think that women don't like sex, it creates a big problem for them. All right, because what happens is the guy thinks that it's a win-lose scenario. So he thinks that him having sex with a girl would be a win for him, but it would be a lose for her. And when you go into the dating market with that kind of strategy, you sort of have to position yourself as like a pirate who's out to like plunder the treasure from women who don't really want to like, give away their treasure. And I know that sounds weird, but I think you guys know what I mean by that. It would be like a win-lose situation. All right, and when a guy is going out into the dating market because he still wants sex at the same time that he thinks it's a win-lose scenario, so he's still gonna go try to pursue that. And so what happens when a guy has that mentality, all right, is he loses all belief in himself. And let me give you an example of how that happens. So for example, when a salesman is selling a product that he doesn't have full belief in, it greatly hurts his ability to sell that product. Okay, why? Well, because when he's talking to a prospect, he's not gonna have conviction in his voice. He's also going to let them off the hook with the first objection. So let's say the prospect has one objection, one question about the product. He's just gonna let them go because he doesn't really believe in it, so he's not gonna actually try, okay? And so over time, what happens when a salesman is selling a product that he doesn't believe in is over time, this is gonna start to gnaw at his conscience, right? Because think about it, he's taking people's money for something that he doesn't believe in. So over time, not only is he not going to sell the product effectively, he's not gonna make a lot of money, but over time, he's just gonna have to find a different job. You know, unless he's a sociopath, he's not gonna be able to do it because it's gonna hurt his spirit, like really. So now, it's the same exact thing in dating. When a guy is going out and he's talking to women like, okay, if I have sex with this girl, it's gonna be a win for me, but it's gonna be a lose for her. The same thing occurs. He's not gonna have conviction in his voice. he's gonna have that deep down feeling that what he's doing is taking from the girl instead of giving, benefits and amazing experience. And then what else happens? Okay, just like the salesman, over the weeks, over the months, as time passes, it's also going to start to gnaw at his conscience. Like he's going to be going out every day or whatever, every weekend, feeling like he's a pirate who's out to plunder the treasure. And you're just not going to be able to do it. I don't care how much of a pimp you think you are, how much of a player that you really think you are. If you go into dating, in relationships with this sort of I win and she loses mentality, it will inevitably hurt your spirit. It's going to hurt your swag and your charisma, really. But on the flip side, now let's take that salesman example again. Let's say that salesman knew that what the product that he had was a win-win for both him and the prospect. Now he's going to have conviction in his voice. He's going to have swag. He's going to go out every single day to his job excited because he knows he's going to be helping the life of his prospect. Okay? And he's going to be a lot more successful. Same thing in dating, guys. Okay, the next thing that guys do that really shoots themselves in the foot is they will frame themselves as judgmental of women having sex. And then what will happen from that is that girl will then withhold sex from them. Okay, what do I mean by that? Okay, most guys, they don't want to wait months. Most guys, they don't want to wait years to have sex with a girl, okay? But at the same time, what they will do is they will act judgmental. And I made this mistake too in the past when I was first getting into the dating game a lot, really, is I would be talking to a girl maybe that I was interested in, and then I would make some comment about how women maybe were like promiscuous in college and stuff like that. And I would frame myself as someone who is judgmental of women having sex. Now, this just absolutely explodes your chances and it shoots you directly in the foot. When a girl detects that you're judgmental regarding the topic of sex specifically, okay, sex specifically, because it is good to be qualifying in other hemispheres, in other categories. But when it comes to sex specifically, women just run away from that. They just run the opposite direction. She knows that if she has sex with you quickly, you're probably gonna break up with her because you've shown the fact that you are judgmental towards that. So you wanna frame it in the opposite way, and I'm giving you guys some like higher advanced game today. You wanna frame it in the opposite way. So you want to frame women as being adventurous. Like, let's say she told you that she went on a spontaneous vacation. You'd be like, okay, you're like an adventurous girl. You're like, I like that. So all of these frames are really good. Like the fact that she's adventurous, maybe spontaneous, maybe a bit of trouble. These are all the good frames that you do want. You don't want to be judging women, all right? And that's how guys shoot themselves in the foot. The next way that guys treat women like virgin princesses is they're afraid to flirt or make things sexual in conversation. And this comes with the same sort of ideology that women are innocent. The guy is too afraid to actually flirt with a girl in conversation. He's afraid to sexualize anything because he thinks the girl is too proper and too innocent to be able to bear that. Now, I think we've had some conclusive data that women are sexual beings at this point, so I'm not gonna repeat myself there. But I want you to think about it like this. There are two modes of communication. There's actually many modes of communication you can have with women, but there are two main categories, all right? One is friendly and platonic. So this would be if I was just talking about the weather, if I was just talking about, maybe some events that are going on in the city, or any other small talk topic, and that's the only thing that I talk about with a girl. Now, a different mode is man to woman. This is where I'm talking to a girl in a way that kind of implies that there's a possibility we might have sex later. So this is a conversation that has sort of like a sexual tension underneath it. It doesn't have to be overt, like we're literally talking about, hey, want to have sex with me? It doesn't have to be like that, especially in like 5 minutes of conversation, right? But let me give you some examples of being man to women so you know what I mean. One example is when you misinterpret something that the girl says as a sexual advance or a compliment. So this is one that happened to me the other day. I was like, "Are you looking at my legs right now? I swear I'm never gonna wear these short shorts around you again if you're gonna keep objectifying me right like that." Okay, so I've implanted a sexual theme into the conversation. And this is what a guy will never do who assumes women are innocent. He's never gonna take that risk. All right, and the people who risk it are the people who win in life and the people who win in dating. Let me give you another example. I'm talking to a girl the other day and she's like, "Oh, I don't know how to swim." And I'm like, "How are we gonna swim in the pool together?" She says something, I don't really remember what it was. And I was like, "You know what, that's fine. At least we can still go in the hot tub together. Just promise me you're not gonna try anything, because we just met." All right. So I'm already implanting in the girl's mind the idea that she's going to try something on me. All right. And once again, guys will just never do this if they think women are innocent. Okay, now let me ask you a question. Who do you think women are more sexually open with? Is it the guy who judges women, who thinks it's a win-lose situation, who's afraid to take risks and sexualizing conversation? Or is it the guy who doesn't judge women, who knows that it's a win-win, he believes in the product, who does flirt with the girl in conversation? Now, once again, if you're a guy that wants to take his dating life to the next level as fast as possible, and you want to potentially work with me one-to-one personally, and you want to learn more about how I can help you, click the link below this video. That's all I have for today though, guys. I'll see y'all soon.